Jamaica has just invited Bill Clinton to come in and is spreading a bed for him to lie down. For what? To what end? So Jamaica has to take its head from out of the sand because its buttocks is exposed. And there are too many people at the highest level of governance and government in Jamaica who are paying little to no attention to what is happening globally, to what's happening around us, who are stuck in political tribalism, who salivate at the color of green or orange like Pavlov's dogs, not recognizing that if we do not do something, we are about to be enslaved again. Agriculture. Mwalimu Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Rastafari. Let us shift our paradigm. And this is not about religion. This is about where do we go from here? Chaos or enslavement or community? How do we participate or not in the New World Order that you're all praising Mark Carney for pointing out? David Icke was pointing this out from the 1990s. I used to play his tapes here on IRFM 1994, 95, 96. Every conspiracy theorist told you that there was going to be a New World Order because you call these people conspiracy theorists, and they told you how it would happen the day the dollar died. Every Pentecostal Christian was preaching, every Pentecostal minister was preaching about the end, about Daniel's vision and the feet of clay and whatever iron, I think, and that China was going to be the new world, the new leader in the new world. I'm just saying that there are many different streams of consciousness that bring us to the very same place. So if you are Christian, you are getting it. If you're Rastafari, you're getting it. I mean, Rastafari, I told you about the chips long time. The biochips. And now that is dime a dozen. People are calling for it now. It means that we have people who have been thinking critically and deep thinkers who were able to read the atmosphere, read the sun and the moon and the star, and literally tell you what was coming and what we needed to do to protect ourselves. All right, lots and lots of comments. Welcome back to the Africa Forum. The program generally and the athletes and the scientific research, elite human sample situation and our athletes' names ending up in the Epstein files as a result because the lead researcher is one of the best friends of Jeffrey Epstein. We have to do better than this, Jamaica. We can't just give away access to Jamaicans, to our people, to the masses of Jamaican people on a whim and a fancy. Because, people, depending on where it's come from, if a source is credible, you are going to, people will do what they're asked to do. And that is why so many people locked down in COVID and couldn't even touch them grandparents who were throwing food at each other instead of handing food, buy food in the supermarket and left it out a door for almost one day for sun for dry out. What I don't know, walking up and down in mass on a lie. There's something is happening now across the world with these COVID commissions of inquiry. They're happening all over the world, especially in Europe and the United States, in the Western world. A lot of Africa didn't pay it any mind. South Africa did. They must know why. Lots of Southern Africa did, actually. Colonization is a bastard. So basically, all right. So lots of comments. Thank you so much for your comments. And I'm seeing you across the different social media platforms. Good morning to you, Aldith Hunker. She says, elite human sample. Yes, Aldith. Kevin Naireri says, I also believe that political change is out of our reach because of the structure of a colonizer, constitution, education, curriculum, and saturation of a church and religion. The people who do good work, advocates and activists who we all should be working with are covertly party affiliates. It took me a long time to see this, and it is reality. It's a reality that I must acknowledge. And James Jones, my brother, says, Hotep running African family, I see a big trick or something of a sort. Why do most people just blame Trump instead of looking at the system of white supremacy? And Donna Matter says, Hotep Carbone, the running African family, furious wind where she's at, howling outside, sweater and blanket weather. Well, you've got it, my sister. Lots of wind here now. I understand that there's rain in St. Anne's Bay. People are feeling cold in some parts of Jamaica. Lots of texts coming in from Western Jamaica. People are feeling cold in some of these areas. I'm in a studio that is very cold. There's nothing can get colder than this studio. So I'm not sure what the situation is outside, but I guarantee you when I go outside, it cannot be colder than this studio. But it's very windy, extremely windy here in my neck of the woods in Otorias. And I know that in St. Mary they're having rains and a lot of rains. So take care of yourselves. Be careful on the road. If you do that Sunday, if you're not going away, just, bundle up and drink your chocolate tea or your coffee or your mint tea. Make some nice cornmeal porridge with coconut trash in there and bulgur porridge. And them look at things there and, pea soup and so on. There's Isis Miller. How you do, Isis? She says, Grand Rising Royal Family, blissful Black History and Reggae Month, present and looking forward. Okay, thank you so much, my sister. Andrew Lumsden said, good morning, beautiful people. Nova can call us on TV Cabo on the tablet with the UK papers chat palm phone. Early like Sunday morning. Andrew, interestingly enough, that used to be the theme song for the program in 1999. Anyway, so easy like Sunday morning. And then he said, did I mention the Blue Mountain Coffee? No, you didn't. Have a perfect day. All right. Yes, you too, Andrew. Yeah, Blue Mountain Coffee. I could do some of that right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with a cinnamon stick in there. Cinnamon stick and coffee. I could have some of that right now. I don't have any way to get it, but I could have some. And thank you, Aldi. She says, just woke to a loud bang of an electricity pole giving way to the mini storm. Happy to have batteries in my little transistor radio, so I'm in class a little shaken but ready. Is something out of line? It's 8:50, right? Okay. All right. So we're going to join... Is it Dwight who's there? The Reggae Month church service. Dwight Fraser is in church. Pastor Dwight Fraser. And is a brick? What a brick there? Come on, show me what a brick there again. Okay, here. So you come through here, sir. All right. All of this is happening in studio. You see, Joara says, Grand Rising, my beloved freedom fighter brothers and sisters. It is great to be here sharing the energy of love and life. Please send the energy of love from your heart to the heart of our beloved teacher. Yes, Joara, I respect that. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for that. Yes, we are here in the midst of a storm, literally in the midst of a storm. Oh, I did say that I would try and talk about the year of water. I don't know if I have a time to do that. I can take a break and see if I can get in even 2 seconds of that. All right, let me take a quick break. Dwight Fraser. Yeah, the year of water. So the World Economic Forum has designated 2026 as the year of water. And this is something that is pretty interesting. They talk about the urgent need to protect water and water sources, just to go through what they have said. So they call it Blue Davos, and why 2026 is a year of water. And they go on to say, I might have to read directly in terms of not being able to sight read and paraphrase. Anyway, the world, they say, faces a global water cycle off balance, affecting lives, livelihoods, and undermining economic prosperity. 2026 will be an important year for fresh water and ocean ecosystems, culminating in December's UN Water Conference. So the United Nations is gearing up for a water conference, and so they've named 2026 the year of water. Jamaica must be very much involved in this, considering that the Minister of Water here in Jamaica is the head of the United Nations treaty body that heads up environment and water and so on. So the UN Water Conference is happening in December. As the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos, a blue thread connected a host of events and announcements highlighting the vital role of water ecosystems, from ocean to freshwater, in global stability, trade, livelihoods, food systems, and climate resilience. They say the planet's entire water cycle, spanning oceans, atmosphere, and freshwater, is under strain. In October 2024, rivers in the Amazon basin fell to historic low levels as Spain was experiencing the worst flooding in 30 years. Last year, they say, saw similar extremes as the climate crisis pushed the hydrological cycle into unprecedented imbalance, making drought and flooding more intense and frequent. Since 1990, they say, the global land area affected by dry conditions has more than doubled, according to the OECD, impacting the availability of fresh drinking water and food production. The World Bank, it goes on to say, estimates that almost a quarter of the global population, 1.8 billion people, are exposed to flood depths greater than 0.15 meters in a 1 in 100 year flood event, with the majority living in low and middle income countries. And it goes on as we enter 2026, a year of water. That concludes with the UN Water Conference, December 2 to 4 in the UAE. In nearly 50 years, the world is at a critical moment when political will must finally match the scale of the crisis. The water crisis will be high on the agenda at the World Economic Forum. Well, it was the annual meeting in Davos, and they actually launched major new initiatives that they say aim to move the world forward on taking action on all water systems, ocean and fresh water. That has serious ramifications for Jamaica. Not that we didn't need Davos or the World Economic Forum to tell us that. But Jamaica and those who govern have been selling and giving away and thieving Jamaica's water sources from the people of Jamaica and putting them in the hands of multinational corporations, foreign governments, and foreign actors and agents. And now Jamaica is heading up a body that is going to have a water conference in December in the UAE. I think all water activists must get to the UAE. Some of us might have to bear placards. But until the fresh water sources and the salt water sources are restored to the people of Jamaica, that the conference at the UAE will have to tell us something before it even starts. See the point I'm making? Do you understand? All right, we're standing by. It's 8:50, and we have a very special interview at 9. Going to be speaking with 3 very special young people, a mother and 2 children, daughter and son. Going to be hearing from them in a little while. You know, I'm trying to find Faith. Of course, we previewed Faith last week, produced by Willie Stewart. All right, so I can't find Faith. You know, we just heard from Pan-African attorney at law Bert Samuels, who has said in relation to the research and the work that we did on unearthing the emails that were sent to Jeffrey Epstein with Jamaica's athletes and this quest for elite human sample, that he's calling for an inquiry, immediate, of all agencies relating to children's care and all institutions and agencies relating to the care of children, and to look again also at this research and come to some conclusion as to what was done, how this was done, the ethics of it all, and to make whatever decisions need to be made outside of it. But he's calling for an immediate inquiry into this research that set out to find elite human samples from Jamaica's top athletes and young people on the island. That has now turned up in the Epstein files, with Epstein himself as a funder of this research. Heather, we're trying to get you. Anton, we're trying to get you. And we are not getting through, and I'm not quite sure what it is. We know there is a lot of rain across Jamaica, right, in different places. And I know in St. Anne's Bay and in St. Anne, we have heavy rain. So here we have some really, listen, we have some high winds in this part of town. So be careful on the roads, please, as you're traveling, especially if you're coming into these areas, because when you see the winds this high, because we have so many trees overhanging roads, and even after Hurricane Melissa, I'm telling you, the trees have gone back. It's phenomenal what life is like when you look at the greenery that has come back. But we still know that there are many people in Jamaica who are still without shelter, still without food, still without running water, and still without, well, housing, we said shelter, who are now faced with this situation of a cold front that is bringing in rain and wind. So really our hearts go out to those who are still in shelters, who are still getting wet, those who are still looking up into the sky because your roof's still not on, and who are cold at this time. Look out for your neighbor, please, because this is a whole different weather in Jamaica right now. So even if it's not as cold as you expect it to be, it is still cold, and it's also very cold in some areas of Jamaica. So look out for your neighbors in the worst hit areas. Hurricane Melissa, we're talking about St. James, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, parts of St. Anne, parts of St. Mary. Look out for your neighbors. Carry a blanket, carry some food, carry warm stuff, because we're going through one now. And a lot of our brothers and sisters across Jamaica are still without. It's a very, very long process. We are trying to get through to Heather, because Heather Green and her children, I'll tell you a little bit about this. You might have seen the reports in the newspaper, very good human interest story, actually, of children of single mother graduate together as medical doctors from the University of the West Indies, Mona. And Heather Green is a single mom, and the children are the ones that we're trying to get online, along with Heather. We've been talking to Heather all morning, by the way. But for some reason, we're not getting through to them now. And as a matter of fact, we just got through to them, so I'm not quite sure what's happening. So there must be a system with the telephone line just going down all of a sudden. And this is what I was about to say earlier, that here in Jamaica, and especially on this side of town, it just takes like a rain and like a wind for everything go down. That's our reality. All right. Okay. Who do I have online? Dave, is that you?
Hello.
Dave Tosh, son of Peter Tosh. How you doing?
I'm great.
Good to have you online, my brother. What's the weather condition like there now? Dave? Did we lose Dave? Hey, Dave? So it is a phone problem. Dave, I'm hearing you in the background. All right. So go somewhere that you know you definitely can get service. Are you in Westmoreland?
Yeah.
All right.
You hear me clearly?
That's clear.
Yeah.
So
when they are in Cabo, preparing and getting ready for eventualities.
Yeah, 2020. And what was the weather like? Because I know that the area you're in was totally devastated. Tell us about the work that is happening there. What's the situation like now?
Yeah, well, things are come forward together. I mean, initially, if you had seen the devastation after the hurricane, you would perhaps wouldn't think it would be possible for this event to happen. But it's out of that devastation that I realized the necessity of this event.
Yes.
And it's really, the recovery is going on because over time, after the devastation, things change rapidly where people may need some food initially, but then after a while, they need the supply and then they need like that. So it's been a while since that, and the recovery, even the trees and the grasses start to recover. So I know the people are recovering, and they are looking forward to seeing you on this event.
We're looking forward to coming there. We know we have, but just before we talk about the event, we know we have a cold front now. This side of town, it's very windy. Parts of St. Ann, lots of rain. What's it like there for you now?
Yeah, well, it's windy, and it's actually, I'm not in Westmoreland right now. I'm in Kingston, but I know I recently checked down there, and it's pretty much windy.
Yes.
And we're on the ocean, so we get all of the sea breeze.
I know, and many people are still without proper shelter, so our hearts are with you. As we said before, look out for your neighbors, please.
We definitely do that.
Yeah. What's the situation like on the with the Peter Tosh Gardens, the mausoleum? I mean, I know things were properly destroyed there. Have you, as a family, managed to rebuild anything? What's the state of the?
Yeah, well, right now we're primarily focusing on getting this event off the ground. The house that Peter Tosh grew up in with his mom, the roof was torn off, and it is slated for reconstruction sometime after this event, because the event does not allow us to have so much work going on for the property at the same time. So, yes, we are primarily focusing on getting this event off, and immediately thereafter to make some restoration to the property and the development of the property, because that is the most important thing that we're focusing on right now. It's not just to repair the roof, but to develop that property into a viable tourist destination that it should be.
As our listeners, you definitely hear Dave. He talks a lot about the event, and I told you earlier this morning that we're going to be in Westmoreland, in Belmont, Westmoreland, come the last weekend of February. We're broadcasting on the 22nd. Tell us about what is in store from your side of things, Dave, as we celebrate Peter Tosh in the name of community and in the name of rebuilding and recovery.
Yeah, so like I say, it is what it is, and to talk about the event. The event is one of the most phenomenal events you ever see happen, and the outpour of Rastafari and the love that we get, you see. But the event itself, it is coming along good. The people look forward to it. We go have you there with your special broadcast, and we have artists lined up for performances over the day. The ideal thing for this is part of the restoration of the community. You know, the thing that bothered me right after the hurricane is that places that I knew from Kingston to Westmoreland, if you drive from Kingston to Westmoreland, your real places when you reach St. Elizabeth and Manchester, you reach certain place where you have orange that sell, people that sell orange. You reach the next section, people that sell shrimp. You reach the next section, people that sell this. And when I look after the hurricane, all of them people who used to be hustlers and sellers are there talking about any little thing that tear me up. And I realized that even in my community, Belmont community, it was so rampant down there. I said, but wait, this not right, man. So it is to give back these people some sense of normalcy and the ability to create and generate income so that they can help to rebuild themselves. Instead of me go down there or people go down there and serve the people and I give them this and that, can create an event, or this event is there for them to know participate and are participate, and to be able to say, hey, we are back.
And so you expect, and so we're expecting to see the community come out with whatever you have, and you say it should generate income. So what are some of the stuff? I remember how that used to be, where community people were just, it was a proper marketplace where community people came out.
It was ideal, and that is what I tell Kabu. It takes an event like this, and some people like yourself and I respect that it can help generate and recoup the people and make them feedback, like I say, some sense of normalcy and getting back to themselves. Because these are people I know that are resilient people who I know hustle, because that is what Jamaica is. We all have our own little hustle, and we have our way of creating our own livelihoods. That's what I deal with. And that is what this event I go do, and me look forward to that part more than anything else, because I know the vendors will turn out, the people will turn out in the area to participate and make sure, say, hey, them can be a part of it. And what I like to talk to Jamaica at large is just to tell them, say, the same way you come down to Westmoreland and hand out flour, rice, sugar, tin, mackerel, and candy, come down there and support the people and know that they are able to take care of themselves. Because that is better to teach, to give a man a self-reliance. To teach people for fish more than we serve for them and give them a fish.
Yeah, and you're saying that the next stage now is to rebuild the independence, is to get back our dignity across Jamaica, and part of that is to go to what we were, the best of us, which is we can when we get together like this, we are vendors, we are buyers, we're performers, and it's a community that comes together just in a oneness and a kind of unity in the name of Peter Tosh. So this is basically...
man. I remember the first event, man. People on the time said, boy, Dave, I never see so much Rasta in all my life. I mean, I tell them.
Yeah, Rastafari, all the time. Rastafari. So just to say to the community, we're heading to Westmoreland. This is in the name of Peter Tosh, but it is to help to rebuild Belmont and to rebuild the community, to rebuild the area, to get to assist people to get back on their feet in terms of the vendors and so on. So come out and buy things from the people of Westmoreland. What are some of the stuff that we expect to see vendors with? Food stuff and what else? What kind of food stuff too?
Yeah, well, we're going to have food stuff. Craft will be there. Basically, whatever we can afford to salvage in these times, because it's going to be a little bit hotter down there this year, considering the fact that all the trees have been torn down.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, so, yes, we are looking for ways to put out, get the community itself involved, and it's still a work in progress. Saying so, by the time that time come around, I think we're fully established, and within a week or so we can have more to share in terms of exactly what is ongoing on the ground.
All right, it's good for me. I mean, we're looking forward. Nicholas Evans is on the other end of the line, not on the phone right now. And the entire IRFM team, we're looking forward to being in Westmoreland again. And this time for community, this time to help to rebuild the community. So we're inviting all of Jamaica to come with a little few shillings in your pocket, and we could go down and go buy from the people of Belmont and surrounding areas as they try to rebuild for themselves. And this is a whole other way of being, of doing things, which is to say, these are industrious people anyway, and they're small business people, if you will. So they are willing to come out and have their wares for sale. And we know we've been going with charity. Let's just go now and spend some money with the people of Westmoreland and help them back on them feet in the name of Peter Tosh.
And for those who can bring few shilling, and if you can bring a few pounds, we will appreciate it too.
Let me take back the shilling and say, bring the shilling and bring the shilling. I heard you. I heard you there.
Yeah,
but
a few pounds would have gone a little bit further.
The day the dollar died. But we're looking at an anniversary, though. We're looking also at an anniversary. This is a significant year, isn't it, for Peter Tosh?
Yeah, it is the year that the 50th anniversary of the release of the Legalize It album.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we'll view that as a commemoration, and I know that is ideal for the times because, like I'm saying, I'm looking forward to the Rasta community scene, and that is what is ideal, the ideal topic for us to discuss at this year. I'd like to say, Ganja and Peter will get its true recognition in Jamaica. And slowly but surely we are getting there, and I intend to use this event in every way I can possible to make sure the message gets across, and that not only just that, but to have Peter rightful place in this month as Black History Reggae Month, and this is the ideal location, place, and time for Peter Tosh because that is what he represents.
That's true.
The people.
Yeah.
You see.
We'll talk to you again. I'm sure you'll be across RFM, and we'll talk to you again hopefully next week, Sunday, and we'll be there on the 22nd on the weekend, and you'll hear much more about what this is going to look like. We invite you once again to join us in Belmont, Westmoreland. Put on your Gideon boots and come, because you know when we go inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African, and yeah, as I was saying before, every time it rained in this part of town, then everything dropped. Network dropped, internet dropped, Wi-Fi dropped. So this is why we had a little difficulty getting back to Sister Heather Green. Now, just a quick background. We told you that you might have seen the newspaper article written by Carl Gilchrist, the Gleaner writer. Brother and sister graduate together as doctors. So I saw that article and I went to read it. Mr. Rushka read it and I said, wait, this looks so good. And then Mr. But wait, I know them. And so I reached out, and here they are, Heather Green and Antoine Green. Do we have Heather and Antoine, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning.
Right.
I'm online.
Morning. So we have everybody, all three of us are here?
All three of us are here.
All right, okay. So, Kimberly, you're there, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, brilliant. Listen, thank you so much. Congratulations, Kimberly and Antoine. Congratulations. What an achievement. Brother and sister graduating at the same time from the University of the West Indies. Mona. Heather, mama, I know you, and I know the kind of person that you are. Congratulations to you. Great work. To all three of you. Great work.
Thank you so much, Andrea. We appreciate the kind sentiments.
And if somebody calls me Andrea in this program, you know them know me long time.
Oh dear.
Because
that tells you that we have history. So let's wheel us come again. Yes, Kabu.
Yeah. So it's just the way it is, you know.
It's family,
right? And it's family. And if Antoine decide to say Missan, that means him hear something. Right?
It's family. So Kabu, we're right there.
Thank you so much for that, though. All right. So, Heather, I'll start with you because how did this happen? That both of them, I mean, they're not same age, are they? But both of them ended up in medical school and graduating at the same time. Tell us about that process. That must have been an intense, challenging process.
It was divine intervention, to say the least. Andrea, I'm sorry, Kabu. Lord, please forgive me, listeners.
Go right ahead,
this is family, so let's fix it.
Right,
but the truth is that Anton, growing up, always said he wanted to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. No parent discourages their child from their dreams, so that seems quite okay. But then when you have another child that says, I want to be a doctor, and it's independent, it's not collusion, they both decide independently they want to be a doctor.
about that multiple times, and she was saying that, she supports anything I do, but always remember that, once you have your degree, no one can take it away from you. And I remember having someone, Dr. Shireen Wisdom, who had become a doctor earlier on, and she was one of our church members, and she was such an inspiration to me, and I really looked up to her a lot, and I was like, I feel like that is where I see myself. And so just watching her, seeing her finish medical school, and she being such an inspiration to me, it kind of inspired me to pursue the same field.
Wow. And Kimberly, totally without, as your mom said, collusion. This also was something that you wanted to do. You wanted to study medicine. Tell us about your journey.
Hi, morning, everybody. Yes, so medicine has been my dream it has been my dream since I was born. From as long as I can remember, my grandmother used to have a lot of hypertensive episodes. Let me say a lot of high blood pressure issues. So she was always going to the doctors, and I would go with her. And then, after you get the patty and the juice, so that made it even more appealing to go. So when I went into the doctor's office and I asked him what it took to become a doctor, and he said, well, this road wasn't meant for everybody. It's only special people who become doctors. And then I was like, oh, I actually want to be a special person. So, let me pursue this. And after communicating this with Mom, she would have encouraged me to take the path that I took. Yes. That she is a firm believer that once you believe in something and it's what you really want, then you could pursue it, because God will be with you if it's His dream for you to accomplish.
Anton, this must have been very challenging for both of you. And I know how difficult it is to get into medical school in the first place. Talk to us about that journey, and was this a particularly challenging course for you? Not just the studies, but just to get through?
It was. And I know everybody has, their different journey, but mine was pretty sticky in the beginning because there's so many requirements to get in. And I remember doing, my subjects. I did well in high school and Cape, but the competitiveness of the faculty, you still had to kind of bring some stuff up. And I remember at the time I got into UWI, but at the time I was in the Faculty of Science and Technology. So I was doing it there, and a lot of people tend to take that route and then cross over into medicine. But it's even more competitive taking that route. So I decided that, I'm going to step back, and I would have done one or two CAPE subjects to add on to, all the other subjects to make my portfolio much more presentable. And with that, I applied, and they're still saying, their quota is full for the year and so forth. And I remember, feeling a bit down because I'd done so much preparation to get in. And I remember, I think 1 week or so after the year had started for that year group, they emailed me and they're like, oh, you got in. And, the school year had already started. And there were so many feelings, so many emotions at the time.
I can just imagine. Wow.
Yes, it was a lot, but at the end of the day, I got in, that's what mattered, and I finished, and trust me, I couldn't be any more grateful.
How many years you did?
I did 5 years, but then there was a gap year in between.
And Kimberly, same thing for you, because I know, as I said to Anton, and he pointed that out too, that is not just an easy thing. People go sideways and get through after doing a first degree. But what was it like for you? What was the challenge, and what was the process?
So, medicine is one of the hardest things I've encountered in my life. Oh my God! Emotionally and mentally, it takes a whole lot, and I can't help but think that it was God who brought us through.
Yes.
So the journey for me, it wasn't as straight like Anton would have mentioned before. Having left high school, I knew I wanted to become a doctor, but I wasn't sure exactly what path to take, and then. When I finally found out, I was at the time attending the Brownstone Community College, and a very good friend of mine, Dr. Demar Mackenzie. He and I sat beside each other and applied to the UWI. And we were asking each other, should we apply to medicine? And then we went over to the far right and we saw the quote, the quotation for the year. And I was like, why not? Let's apply. And he said, apply as well. I said, it's either we get through or we don't get through. And it so happened that both of us got through. And, from there, it has been a lot of challenges. Trust me, we wouldn't have the time to really talk about it on this program, but it hasn't been smooth any at all, and I'm just happy that we made it cross the finish line successfully and that we have a bright future ahead.
You do, and I'm inviting you when you both have time, and Heather, I'm inviting you all three to come in the studio, because I know you wanted to come in, but just coordinating wouldn't work as you're both working. But so you went to Brownstone High, you said? Was it Brownstone High?
No, Brownstone Community
College. And Anton, you went to? York Castle. So I can just imagine the Brownstone Community College and York Castle teachers and so
Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey. Who's Marcus? Oh, Marcus Garvey before York Castle. Before Brownstone.
Yeah.
Congratulations again. And you know why we needed to underscore Marcus Garvey? Because I think this will definitely, there are many people who are listening who I think I'm going to be totally encouraged by this, because this is, Marcus Garvey over the years has been doing so well in turning that school around, and to have a graduate, you're on your internships now?
I've completed that milestone. I'm now SHO, Senior House Officer.
Look at that. I take that back. And Anton, you?
I'm halfway through, so I'm about to finish a couple months.
All right. I mean, Heather, this is phenomenal. I'm talking to Heather like this, right? And just listening to the children, because we know each other a long time. And as I said before, we're talking about family right now. So, Heather, this is phenomenal, isn't it?
Andrea, let me tell you what is probably most phenomenal. One, I have to acknowledge that my faith in God. I don't beat around the bush. This is not something that I could have done. That I had a perfect plan. Step 1, step 2, step 3. There was no steps involved. It's just mother and a desire to want to see your children excel. But beyond that, it had to be divine intervention, because Andrea, let me tell you something. You know that when a mother sets out to encourage their children, they are wanting the best for them. And despite all the challenge that these children face, they never gave up. I can't pat myself on the shoulder, because it was not a plan to have 2 children graduating from medical school. I just wanted the best for my children. And Kimberly did something that was unique about 5 years ago. I think it was 2020. She saw, I think there was a clip in the paper somewhere that says brother and sister graduating as lawyers together. And she took a picture of it and sent it to me and said, hint, hint. That was 2020. I kept it.
Yes.
I kept it from 2020. So now when this happened, it seems natural that I should have them in the paper, since it actually came true.
Exactly. And you
so
see
the
how
hint manifested.
Exactly. You see how the brain works, because whatever your mind conceives, the mind can achieve, is basically how the brain works. So you set it in motion, Kimberly. You certainly set it in motion with that hint that you sent to your mom. All right. So are you specializing or general practitioner? Where are you? Tell me what's happening.
That question is for me?
Yeah, for both of you. Go ahead, Kim.
Okay. So I just completed internship, and internship would entail that you basically experience all the rotations, internal medicine, surgery, ONG, and pediatrics. And then based on that now, so if you've completed 1 year of that, you'd have completed the internship, and then you start the next position, which is called Senior House Officer. So you're not quite an intern, but you're not quite a resident as yet, so you're in between. But it's just that you now have your license to practice independently. So that's where I am right now. And if you're asking in terms of what specialty I'm eyeing, then that would be orthopedic sports medicine or ENT. And since of late, ONG has become quite interesting as well.
Okay. It's interesting you talk about sports medicine. We were on it this morning, and we need people like you, so we're going to call you back and talk to you about some things later on.
Absolutely.
Because of what a research that was done. I know you didn't get a chance to hear, but I'll talk to you about it off air later. Anton, in terms of looking ahead, are you thinking of any specialty?
Yes, absolutely. Currently, I'm very interested in obstetrics and gynecology and also general surgery. So those two are on my list.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to it. Heather, I'm so sorry that we're out of time, but congratulations to you and the children. I'm still saying the children. I mean, these are young adults now.
Adult children.
Once again, Kimberly Clark, Anton Green, Heather Green. This is beautiful, beautiful. I am so proud of you. I mean, we've known Heather forever. Heather, from when again? Which year?
I can't even remember the years, but we go way back, Kabul,
Yes,
and I'm very happy to. I think it would be great joy for us to be able to sit down and talk, because there's so much more that can encourage and motivate other parents, other children, students, because people need to know that behind the story, there's a story.
Yes.
And that they can actually do it. This is not something that's unique for us, but it really is something that can be an inspiration for other persons, for them to want to take another grip, and try again, because it's doable.
Let us steal 2 minutes and just go 2 minutes and go there from all three of you for parents. Heather, how a word to parents, to Kimberly, a word to young people who are who have this dream, and also to Antoine the very same question, a word of encouragement. So go ahead, Heather, you first.
I tell you what, I think after the paper aired the interview, I got a call from a mom, and she said, Heather, I know you, and my son wanted to do medicine, and because of financial constraints due to health issues, I was just thinking no to dissuade him, because I don't know where I was going to get the first cent from. But when I saw this article, I said, no, God, I can do this. If Heather did it with 2, I certainly can do this with 1. And that broke my heart. I've been getting calls left, right, and center of parents and just saying, I can do this. There's hope. We can get this done. And there are many other stories out there to be told. But honestly, I think this one has just woken up the hope in persons, in the average single parent out there that is struggling, that might not have all the finances, that might think medicine is something that's out of their reach. But somehow there is an inspiration that says you can do it, you can make it. So this is not just our story. This is Jamaica's story, but many other parents and students and children in schools now are probably thinking of going further in their education. This is their story too, saying, yes, you can do it. It's possible.
Well done, well said. Thank you for that story. Kimberly, just a quick word to young people who are thinking along the lines of getting into university. First of all, just and being discouraged at different levels, what would you say to them?
So, to every young person out there who is dare to become more, you just feel like, there was something else, like a higher calling, something else that's out there for you, and you're facing a lot of challenges. It may be emotional, it may be supportive, it may be financial, which is very common. Just know that you can make it. If you put your mind to it, and if you put God first in all you do, like, I'm not saying be a Christian, be a Christian if you can, but if you can't be a Christian and you can believe in God, you can apply His word, He will still bless you, will help you, because the Bible says that God causes rain to fall on the just and on the unjust. And regardless of what position you find yourself in, sometimes you just need one right person, one person to encourage you, one person who believes in you. And sometimes you may not have that. You just have to believe in yourself until that person comes along. But just know that if you find yourself in any struggle, it's not to say that it is not for you. Sometimes it just means that you need to try harder. You need to push harder. And you need to believe more. Yes. And if you think that 2 doctors in one family was impressive, I also have a brother on my father's side who became a doctor this year as well. So that's 3 doctors in one family. And if God has done it for the 3 of us at the same time, He can do it. He can more than do it for you. So just believe.
I'm going to invite the entire family into the studio. This is done. This is in ink, as Kishima would say. No, but listen. But this is all right, Anton. Anton Good, and we said before, this is my cousin, right? So I when I read it and when I saw the thing in the paper, I literally teared up because I said, "Wow, I know." Anton, your encouragement to young people as we say.
Honestly, you can do it. You can do it. There's no limit. If it's finances, there's student loan. The university offers scholarships. There are also external scholarships that you can take up. There are other government funds like JAMVAT where you exchange community hours for funds towards your education. There's so many ways to pursue your education, and you can do it. Honestly, I don't know if it's just how I was grown, but there was no point in time where I thought I could not do it. There were challenges, but I never said, because of this, I won't do it. I just said, how am I going to overcome this obstacle to end up where I need to be? And I feel like anyone who's hearing this message, you can do it. Just do your research, speak to people who have done it before you, check out government agencies, visit university websites. They have all the information you could need, and just take the first step. And once you take the first step, everything will line up right behind you. It may not be a straight road, but it's a road, and every road comes to an end. And the end is good if you pursue, work hard, and you'll reach your destination.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Thank you, Heather Green. Thank you, Kimberly Clark. Thank you, Anton Good. Thank you. And once again, congratulations to all three of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kabu.
Right.
Thank you, Kabu. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, RFM listeners. We appreciate being here this morning.
Right. We're very happy to have you. All right. So see, I'm sure you all saw the newspaper article, children of single mother graduate together as medical doctors from UA Mona. You can Google that now if you haven't seen it before, and you'll see Heather, the mom, you see the two children, and this story is also expansive and extensive there. But once again, this is a story of the single mom, Heather Green, and her two children who graduated from UA.
Now the details. 6 people were shot and killed in 5 separate incidents between yesterday and this morning. The murders occurred in St. Catherine, Manchester and Hanover. Marlene Freeman reports.
Dead are 23-year-old laborer Dejon Hamilton, otherwise called John Wick of Newhall District, 33-year-old construction worker David Brown, otherwise called Ratty of Ellen Street, Newport, 22-year-old Raheem Ward, otherwise called Richie Rich, and 35-year-old Adrian Reed, both of Inner Street, Old England, all in Manchester. The other deceased are 42-year-old Camille Carr of John's Pen in St. Catherine and 52-year-old Lenford Hazel of Success District, Hopewell in Hanover. Police say Hazel was killed in his community at around 11:45 a.m. yesterday. Residents reported they heard explosions and summoned the police. On arrival of the cops, Hazel was seen beside a car with gunshot wounds to his head and chest. He was pronounced dead at hospital. Meanwhile, Carr was killed in Shelter Rock, Spanish Town, St. Catherine today. Reports are that at about 1:44 a.m., residents heard explosions and alerted the police. Upon the arrival of the lawmen, Carr was seen lying along a roadway in a pool of blood. She was taken to hospital where death was confirmed. Over in Manchester, Reed, Hamilton, Ward and Brown were killed in 3 separate incidents. Hamilton was shot dead in the first incident. Head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Kerry Duncan. Reporting for RFM News, I am Marlene Freeman.
3 people were killed in separate crashes in St. Catherine and Trelawney this morning. One of the deceased has been identified as 58-year-old Terry Dwyer of Spanish Town, St. Catherine. More in this report from Georgetta Williams.
Douai was killed in a crash along Johns Road in St. Catherine. Reports are that at about 8:25 a.m., he was a passenger in a motor car which hit another vehicle and crashed into a utility pole. Douai sustained injuries and was pronounced dead at hospital. And the police say 2 unidentified persons were killed in a crash along the Keurig Park Main Road in Trelawney at around 8:30 a.m. The crash involved a grey 2011 Toyota Axiom motor car and a blue Nissan X-Trail motor truck. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, said with 3 fatalities, February is off to a bad start.
It's a terrible way to start the month, and we await further details about these crashes and continue to encourage the police and to encourage the entire nation to take this matter of road safety seriously. We can't afford to let up even for a minute. Otherwise, these crashes will continue and people will continue to grieve and mourn, and the nation will wonder what is going to happen next.
Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones. Reporting for RFM News, I am Georgetta Williams.
The late police constable Eric Evans has been laid to rest. The 31-year-old died following a crash along the Goshen Main Road in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth on Saturday, December 13, 2025. He was driving his service motorcycle along the road when he was hit by a coaster bus. Scores of people, including relatives and colleagues, gathered at the Arakabessa Seventh-day Adventist Church in St. Mary today to pay tribute to the late cop. In delivering the eulogy, Superintendent attached to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, Jeffrey Leckie, said Constable Evans was an exemplary officer.
He was punctual, neatly attired at all times, and meticulous in the execution of his duties. He respected the chain of command, upheld the standards of the force, and respected the uniform with honor. These are qualities we expect of all our officers.
Superintendent attached to PSTEB Jeffrey Leckie. The late veteran broadcaster Walter Bob Clark has been recognized for his contributions to the growth of reggae music as well as Jamaica's #1 radio station, Irie FM. Culture and Entertainment Minister Olivia Grange praised Bob Clark during the Reggae Month church service at Fellowship Tabernacle in Kingston today. Mr. Clark, who was awarded the Order of Distinction in 2018 for decades of contribution to Jamaican media, died on Tuesday, January 27. He was 75. Bob Clark was a part of Irie FM's early management team and hosted the popular Sunday afternoon program Memories until his time at the company ended in 2020. Ms. Grange said Bob Clark helped to ensure that Irie FM received its license.
A voice on Irie Radio, someone who played a critical role in having the reggae radio station Irie established. We worked very closely together in those days, along with others, to make sure that Irie got its license to play reggae music. And so he contributed to the growth of reggae and to the growth of Irie, the #1 station in Jamaica. And his voice could be heard on Irie throughout the years. His voice is now silent, but I ask you all to keep his memory alive and keep his family in your prayers.
Culture and Entertainment Minister Olivia Grange. With 30 new justices of the peace sworn in at a ceremony in Westmoreland on Friday, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is emphasizing the serious responsibility that comes with the position. Minister Chuck stressed that JPs are tasked with ensuring fairness and integrity in their communities. He said the role of a JP should not be taken lightly.
Let me congratulate you and thank you for offering your service to the people of Westmoreland and Jamaica. It is not a job that should be taken lightly. It is a serious job, and we hope, even though it is voluntary, you will give us your best. A recognition that you have been selected because the panel that interviewed you so in you persons of character, persons of integrity.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck. A strong cold front remains across Jamaica. The Met Service says, as a result, significantly cooler temperatures and cloudy conditions should be expected to impact Jamaica through to Tuesday, especially across northern parishes and hilly areas. Tonight and tomorrow expect cloudy conditions. Early morning showers are likely across sections of northern parishes and some hilly areas elsewhere. Very cool conditions, strong winds and potentially gale force gusts are also expected across the island. And finally, in news overseas, 5-year-old Liam Coneo Ramos and his father, who were detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agents in Minnesota in the United States, have returned home. More in this report from the BBC.
This really came to a head yesterday when a judge, Fred Beery, issued a ruling, and it was a very sternly worded ruling. He said that the boy's detention was cruel and bereft of human decency. He said Liam's case originated in, and I'll just quote what the judge said, the ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportation quotas, apparently even if it requires traumatizing children. Very pointed. He referred to the lust for unbridled power, clearly comments directed at the administration.